Hi! I am back for business. I left for like one day, but still, I'm back. Did you miss me? I hope you did. Because I missed you guys. Even though I was only gone for one day, it felt so strange not doing these. I absolutely missed it yesterday. Yesterday was absolutely crazy. I'll explain it. I crippled myself all the time. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I will explain what happened yesterday, why I wasn't here properly, and basically how chaotic yesterday was, because yesterday wasn't as easy as it might have sounded from the thing I put on by the thing that I put on my community. I just had a stroke. So basically yesterday I went to school as normal. I was doing my thing in school. I went kind of through everything, and oh wow, that was really quick. And I went through everything at school. We did school as normal, and I wasn't expecting that. Hi. Went through everything at school. We did everything we needed to do, and I was walking home, or I stayed behind after school every day for an hour to get practice for Britain's Got Talent and some piano practicing. So for those of you who don't know who are new here, I have been self-taught in piano since I was 4, so that is 11 years now. And since then, I have been going with my piano for as long as I can. And I missed a couple of months for personal reasons. I wasn't able to play. I know, you can't forget me. But anyway, I stayed behind for half an hour last night because with that I had practice, so I went straight from practice and I was walking home when my friend called me and she was like, hey, we're all going down to the fair tonight, still, are you coming with me? Because she'd originally told me, listen, I can't go, my mum won't let me. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. She was like, but I do need you to pay for the ride that we go on, because we were only allowed to go on one ride. No, she was only allowed to go on one ride, so I was like, do you know what? I'll go on one ride with you as well. So I was like, sure. So she's like, hey, can you pay for my ride? My mum hasn't given me any cash. I was like, yeah, sure, just pay me back when you can. She was like, I will. Thank you so much. I was like, of course, no problem. So I walk home, and this fair starts at 5, right? So I walk home. It takes me 45 minutes to walk home. I left at around 3:30. So it took me a little bit longer because when you walk and you have a full bladder, you got like waddle. So it's a great way to start off the live, innit? Hello to the 3 people who just had to hear me say that. That's going on the internet. Anyway, I was walking home. She called me. She's like, hey, how long are you going to be? I was like, well, it takes me 45 minutes. So I was like, okay. So I walked home. You guys might see the video if I decide to post it. I might not. I genuinely don't know yet, because I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't get any content at the fair because of 1, copyright from the music, and 2, it was really loud and it was really busy, so I genuinely could not get anything. We got there at 5 o'clock on the dot, and it was already packed. And by the time we'd gotten on the ride, it had taken about 20 minutes to get the ride started, so... Penguin? What the hell is a penguin? Do you mean penguin? I love that. I'm gonna start calling you Penguin. I don't think that's how you spell it, but But anyway, we got to the fair. I started walking home. I eventually got home and I changed into dress. You guys probably might have seen the video that I did on that. I just kind of did an outfit check thing because I really like the dress, and the outfit and the look and everything. It was really nice. I got home. I got changed, and then my phone was dying like the whole way that I think my phone lasted on about 40% for about 3 hours. For the 2-3 hours I was out, my phone had to like last off of like 40%, if that. And luckily enough, eventually I get home and everything is like, I get home fine, my phone's still charged, nothing happened. So back to the original story. Oh wow, why is my phone going crazy? It was a case of, we got there. We all go meet up. We all meet at Tesco's. It took everyone a while because everyone kind of got really caught up in their own thing. We were going to wait for some other people. Turns out they couldn't be bothered going. So in the end, we just kind of go without them because they cannot be bothered apparently. So we go and we get there and it's absolutely chaotic already. We've only just gotten there. It's 5 o'clock on the dot and there's people everywhere. So we get there and it's absolute chaos. Eventually everyone arrives at Tesco's because basically they lost one person, so they went to their estate to go and find them. They couldn't find them, so they went back to Tesco, still couldn't find them, disappeared again, and then came back, and we were all there. But I live furthest away, which was really annoying. I live like the other end of like county I live in, so it was like that took a while. It just happens. Okay, there's like no explanation to losing someone. It just kind of happens. So we kind of, we get there and we go back and we get to the fair, and the one ride we choose out of all of them is the waltzers. And if you've ever been on the waltzers, you know how bad your head feels on that thing, like for your first time as well. So I can give you some context to the story. The first time I went on the waltzers, the bar flew forward and I almost fell out of it. I have like PTSD from going on the waltzers, and I hate them with a passion. But my friend was desperate. She was like, I really want to do this ride. Can we please do this ride? So I was like, I genuinely cannot say no to my friends. So I went. Oh my God, I hit my head on that so many times. It genuinely hurts. So I agree with you now. I was like, I was walking her, or we were walking there, we got on the ride. And before the ride even starts, I get in and I look at my mate and I'm like, tell them not to spin this. And she's like, oh no, we'll be fine. I'm like, okay then. Because I genuinely hate arguing with people. Unless it's about Andrew Garfield being the right Spider-Man, because it's true, because Andrew Garfield's the best. He knows who he is. That debate is still going on. It was like a week ago it started. But basically, we get on the ride and it takes them like 20 minutes to start the ride because like no one was doing it. So eventually some other people come onto the ride, and there's a little bit of drama that happens that I won't go into because it's not my drama to go into, but there was a bit of drama between my friend and someone else. So we're kind of sat there, and I go to I'm like, I take my leather jacket with me, and I haven't got my leather jacket. I think it's in my wardrobe. My leather jacket's in my wardrobe, so I can't show you which one it is. You've probably seen it in the video. So when I was wearing in the short that I put up yesterday, I looked at my mate and went, right, sit on this. Because I was like, I can't put it in my bag. And like sitting on it is really uncomfortable for me. So I was like, just sit on this. So she sits on it for me. And about 10 more minutes go by and the ride starts. We start moving as you do. You're going around on the waltzers. And the first time it spins and the guy doesn't spin it, so obviously it naturally spins itself. So I'm sat there and I'm like, oh my God. Keep in mind here, I had not eaten at that point since 6 o'clock the night before. So I'm sat there and I'm on the ride and I look at my mate and I'm like, I haven't eaten since like 6 o'clock last night. Am I going to throw up on this? She was like, don't throw up on me for one. 2, if you're going to throw up, please wait until afterwards. And I was like, fun. So, yes, I have eaten today before anyone comes at me. I've eaten twice today, so don't come at me for that. But basically, we are all sat there and the ride starts and the guy comes up and he just flings us. And it's like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting it. So I've been holding the bar really tight, so my hands were already sweaty. It was really hot yesterday, and my hands slip already. The bar flies forward a little bit, so obviously I grab the bar, and I'm like holding this thing for dear life. When the guy comes up again, and he spins us, and my head goes back, and I'm like, ow, concussion. And this ride's about 5, maybe 8 minutes long at most, because, we were one of the first lot on there, so they purposely made it a bit longer. When one of my best mates' ex-boyfriends show up, and he stands there and he watches us all like dying on this ride. We're all stood there like he spins us again, but as he spins us, we speed up massively, like more than every other time. My head flies back and I lose grip of the bar. I'm the only one holding onto the bar at this point. So it clicks on straight away, and I grab the bar. I'm like mindly too late. The bar's already gone forward, so I would like grab it as quick as I can. And that was when my anxiety really kicked in. My mate saw my anxiety was kicking in. She caught my hand. She was like, you're okay. You got this. You're fine. I was like, the bar just flew forward. I'm not okay. And I genuinely have a photo of the two of them just like pulling a stupid face. And there's me who's smiling but looks like I'm about to cry. And I'm sat there and obviously we're going through the ride with like the ride spinning really, really, really fast. And it stops. The ride stops. And obviously I haven't eaten since like the night before. So I'm sat there and I'm like, oh my God, I feel really, really lightheaded. I don't know if I can do this. My mate's like, I can't get up. She's like stuck there, and we get her up and we get her out of the thing. And, I get to the stairs and I suddenly go, whoa. And my mate, she grabs me, she's like, well, are you okay? And I was like, not really. We get off the ride and my legs go a little bit. So I've got like grab her, almost dragging her down with me. So I sit down, I'm sat there, I'm okay. After about 5 minutes, I'm fine. And she turns to me and goes, go and get the other person. I'm like, okay, I run and I grab the other person. By this point, we've been there for around half an hour, maybe 35 minutes. So I go and I get her and I'm like, she wants you. And we're like, okay. So we go back. And then after that, it's kind of like, right, is everyone okay? Are we all good? And we're like, yeah, we're fine. We're all right now. I was fine at this point. And then we walk around the fair for a little bit for about 10 minutes when I stop and I'm like, where's my jacket gone? Because if you remember earlier in the story, I told you I had my jacket with me. My stupid self makes you into an unstable grandmother with wobbly knees. Did I already have wobbly knees? But but it was like, we sat there and I was like, where's my jacket gone? And I'm like, oh my God, I left my jacket on the ride. And I was sat there and I was stood there and my mate grabs me and she's like, it's okay. She was like, my mate grabs me and she's like, we can't go over there. My ex-boyfriend's on there. I was like, you wait here, I'll go and get it. And she was like, dude, you can't talk to people. And I was like, oh my God, I can't talk to people. So I make her come with me because I genuinely cannot talk to people. Like, this is fine because you guys can see me, but I can't see you, so I'm good. So it's like, but if it's like around people, I had to like drag her with me. Plus, I was still slightly wobbly on my feet, so it was like I was like all over the place. So she had to like help me up the steps and stuff. So we get up the steps and we're stood there, and I'm like, I look at her because like obviously I stutter when I'm nervous. She's like, she left her jacket here. Do you guys have it? And she's like, the guy's like, oh yeah, it's over here. And then my best mate's ex-boyfriend, he's like, he laughs at me as I'm going to get it, as I get my jacket. And me, who has not eaten since the night before and is very dizzy and is feeling very, very sick, turn around and I almost lost my temper with him. I didn't. I managed to like hold myself together. I was like, not going to rise to it, because if you rise to it, then you're in trouble. So we get there and, we're doing our own thing. We walk around for a bit. When my other friend shows up and we're like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? She's like, well, my family kind of dragged me out. And I was like, oof, okay. So there's three of us now. My other friend's staying with her family for now. She's there with her sisters and her auntie and stuff. So they're all there. And then the three of us, there's one of my friends who is in my tutor at school and the other one who is a very close friend of mine in school and has been for about going on 2 years now. So we're all stood and we start walking around. And we decided, we're like, right, do you know what? I think by this, it was like 35 minutes past at this point. So we were all there, and she's like, I'm like, right, what time is it? Because she had to be in by 6:30. It was only like 5:30, 35 minutes past 5. So she was like, right, so this time I need to leave for like 6. I was like, okay, so we can do that. So we're walking around, and we spent 25 minutes walking in a circle because we had nothing better to do. I'm not gonna lie, I was bored out my mind until the kids from school that, like, I tend to avoid because they scare me showed up, and I was like, we need to hide. So we spent the next 25 minutes playing hide and seek, but only we knew we were playing hide and seek. They didn't. So we were like dodging them as much as we could. So that was fun. We had a game of hide and seek, and people didn't know we were playing hide and seek with them, but so we get through that, and eventually it gets to 6 o'clock, and we're like, right, we're gonna go. I'm gonna walk my mate to Tesco's, go into Tesco's, buy myself something to eat and stuff, and then go home. It is more like Mission Impossible than anything else, to be honest. But we leave and we start walking back towards Tesco's, and eventually we get to Tesco's, and it's like, okay, almost getting hit by a car in the process because my friend's an idiot. So we leave, and we're going to Tesco's, and we go into Tesco's, and we're like, hey, we're going to get something to eat. You still got £1 left, and I need food. So we went and we got some stuff to eat, and it does not help when people in the shop scare me, right? It does not help the fact that we decided it was a good idea to go to Tesco's at the point of the day where everybody else goes to Tesco's because they think it's going to be quiet, but in fact they make it busier. So we go and we're kind of like we stood in line, and we spent about 20 minutes stood in line, right? And we stood there, and my mate nudges me and she goes, "Look behind us." What do you mean, look behind us? There's a guy, just look behind us. Look at his hair. So I turned around, and this guy, right, he is stood there. He has really cropped hair, and he must have grown it out a bit on top, because I turned around and he has a little tuft, just a little tuft in a bobble at the top of his head. And he's like stood right there, and he turns to look at me as I turn to look at him, and we like lock eye contact. So obviously I can't laugh, but me, I laughed at the guy with a tuft on the back of his head. So I turned back to my mate, and she burst out laughing, and I burst out laughing. And what makes it even worse, right, is we got outside of Tesco's. This girl turned to look at, she must have been only like 5-6 years old, and she walked into a notice board because she was looking at me and my mate. Because apparently we were interesting. I genuinely don't know why she was looking at us, but she turned to look at us, and there's like those relatively like, those balls that go like up to your waist when you like walk outside Tesco's and stuff, and it's like they're just kind of there. They have like no purpose apart from like showing a little poster. This girl was like walking out. She must have been with like her mum or her grandmother or something, and she turned to look at us, but she carried on walking and just went head first. Yeah, they just like silently judge. It's really weird. But this kid just went head first into this thing. I'm going to lose a couple of subscribers for being so insensitive in this story, but I look at my mate and she looks at me. Thank you. I don't know what charisma means, but I'm taking it as a compliment. I'm going to have to Google what that means. What does that's not how you spell charisma. Charisma mean? Oh, thank you. But yeah, we were walking around, and it was like, obviously we couldn't laugh at this point because some kid had just like injured herself. Kid doesn't like cry or anything. It's like she made no noise. She just kind of like carried on. She like stood there stunned for a minute and just carried on walking. And me, being the absolutely amazing human being I am, stood there and laughed at this kid. But so did my mate. We kind of had to like run in the opposite direction and just like double over because we were just kind of like laughing. It was an experience and a half that is probably going to lead to me going to hell. It was worth it though. Genuinely was so worth it. As much as bad as I feel about that, like, it was kind of funny. It shouldn't have been funny, but it was really, really funny. But it's just as bad. Like, I'm just as bad when I'm in work, which does not help my situation. So I was in work one week, and one of my colleagues came onto the headset. I only had like 20 minutes left of my shift. I was exhausted. I'd had like an hour and a half of sleep the night before. And he comes on the headphone, and he's like, some kid just came into the shop, walked into the automatic doors, and proceeded to fall onto the carpet. We all keep our headsets on at work just in case anything happens. We have like we just have like casual conversation. I had like a break. My brain just like broke for a minute. I apologize. We have like casual conversation. We all get along really, really well. So we were all just like talking, and he suddenly goes, "Oh my god, some kid just fell into the shop," and like, luckily this kid had a helmet on because she went head first into the door and the carpet. So obviously he's laughing. We're laughing. Apparently this kid's fine. This kid was absolutely fine. No harm was done to this child. So we're just like laughing about it. And then I go to leave, because in the back of our shop we have 2 double doors, right? And they're like the swingy out ones. I have Mission Impossible when I see one of our teachers in the shop. I try and avoid, because as soon as my dad even notices them, a convo will start about literally why I hate seeing teachers. Do you know the bald history teacher with the beard? I won't say his name for like personal reasons, he came in the shop one week while I was working. So I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just kind of like doing my own thing, as you do in a shop, working. When he comes up to me, why can I hear the fare from up here? But it was like this kid just kind of like came out of nowhere. But I was like I was doing my own thing. We were all talking over the headsets, and I'm like, obviously I'm working, and I've got the trolley. I haven't even got the trolley. I've got some boxes in my hands, and I throw this door up because there's never anyone there, and this kid, thank God she had a helmet on, was this close to getting hit head first with a metal door. I've still got my headset on. She's by herself. Her parents aren't there. This kid's like 2 or 3. Her parents, I grabbed the door before it hits her, luckily enough. And her parents come walking around the corner, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry she's away." I'm like, "I'm sorry I almost gave your kid a concussion." Like, I was sat there and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job." Like, I was genuinely afraid I was going to get fired. That is the one time I've ever had a firing scare at work, and it was the most horrible feeling in the world. As much as I almost laughed about knocking this kid out afterwards, at the time, it was like genuinely petrifying, because I was like, I almost killed a child and lost my job. Like, it's not a fun experience. Like, either. Like, it was one of those where I freeze when I panic, right? I like genuinely freeze up and I don't know what to do. So I'm sat there and I'm like, oh my God. Well, I'm gonna tell you a story. Hold on. I can't spell. What was it? Yeah, we were just kind of like there doing our own thing, and hold on, sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, there was like this one. There's been so many times in work where like customers have like fallen over or like just done something stupid, and we've got to stand there and not laugh until they leave, and then we take the mick out of them. Like, I think all places do this. I think this is a very, very common thing in workplaces. After customers leave, or if there's a customer no one likes, they just take the mick out of them. It is a common occurrence when it comes to these things. Like, they all just take the mick out of customers. Like, I don't like taking the mick out of customers, because like, unless it's a customer that I really don't like, I won't take the mick out of them. My colleagues, however, the ones that I work with only, I take the mick out of the people that I work with. And only the ones I work with, because otherwise I don't really know anyone apart from the people I work with, so it would be rude of me to take the mick out of them. Whereas the people I work with, we all take the mick out of each other. Like, the colleague who was on about the kid who tripped over, he takes the mick out of me because I say yeah. And I don't say how English people say it. And like, he will take the mick out of me for my spelling and the fact I can't say his name. Oh my God, I have. Thing is, when we had a Karen, I didn't even work there at the time, right? I've only ever had one encounter with a Karen, and I didn't work at the shop yet when this happened. So my one encounter with a Karen was very, very interesting, because I went in there one morning, I had some cash, So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get myself something nice. I'm going to get myself something for lunch. So I did. And I go in there. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. It was the day I was waiting for Mum to finish work. It was a Saturday and I was there. And I was like, you know what, I've got some cash. I'm going to get myself something for lunch. So I did. I go and I get myself something for lunch. And I go to turn around to go into another aisle. When this woman, right, apparently she's a very, very common customer. She comes in all the time, walks over to me and she's like, oh no, I was in the same aisle as her, right? I was just in the aisle. I hadn't done anything wrong. I was just there. And she literally comes up, she saw a mask on, and this is after COVID and stuff, right? This was like all after COVID. And she comes up to me and she goes, I need you to move. She is one end of the aisle, I'm the other. We are much more than 6 meters away from each other. So obviously I turn around and I'm like, well, I'm nowhere near you. I'm sorry, but I am like nowhere near you. I am just trying to get my lunch. And she was like, I need you to move. You need to move. Get out of my way. So I was like, okay. So obviously I turn and leave because I genuinely cannot stand up for myself. It is a problem at this point. So I turn and I leave. I move because I am deathly afraid of people. So I move and I'm like, okay, I will leave so she is not. And this woman was like full blown going at it with me. She was like, you need to move, you need to get out of my way. I was like, I haven't done anything. I genuinely didn't understand it. She just kind of stood there and just like shouted at me for about 3 minutes because I would not move. Eventually I had a guts full and I just turned and I left because that is what I do. So I have had one Karen encounter and that is it. I'm very fortunate in the fact I have not had a Karen encounter. I went up to my mum and complained after this incident though, because I was like, I am not being put out like that. That is not fair. My mum was like, oh yeah, she comes in all the time. She's horrible. I was like, I gathered she's horrible. My mum was like, but we can't say anything. Like, when it comes to stuff like that, you genuinely can't say anything until after the customer's left, which is really, really annoying. My Karen experience, she yelled at me and my brother because I was 10, my brother was 11. She was angry because my brother scared one pigeon. She said, that's not your pigeon. My mum and dad laughed. I love that. See, at least you guys can laugh about it. Like, the problem with working in an environment like I work in, as much as like we all laugh about it, we all take the mick when it comes to like Karens and stuff because they are genuinely just stupidly funny. We always laugh about it. We have an absolute blast when it comes to like just taking the mick out of Karens. Yeah, we were just kind of like, you know, when it comes to like some of them, it's just like you are unnecessary. But like I hate it. I love the fact you just got laughed at. I genuinely hate the fact that like some people are like that and it makes my blood boil sometimes. What is the point? Sometimes I think it's hilarious. Other times I'm just unnecessary for the sake of being unnecessary. Karen was like 78. Yeah. She was like old. The one for us was she was like old. Why is there more sirens? I swear to God, if it's another thing going on at the fair. Yeah, people like they seem to always be like the. Do you mind? Go either. 1 minute. They always seem to be the older women who are like either going through menopause or just old. It is one or the other. It's always like the menopausal women or the old women. Or men, because obviously men can be Karens as well, and like they're called Kevins. You got Kevins and Karens. I love it. But it's like I have a neighbor called Karen. I have one as well. My neighbor is called Karen, but she is not a Karen. She is one of the sweetest women I've ever met. She is genuinely so nice. She does not shout at anyone. She is just sweet. She's so sweet. And it's, you know, as much as the stereotype is absolutely hilarious, you have Karens who aren't, you know, people name Karen who just aren't Karens. And like obviously it's like a natural association now since like it started when you're like, oh, if someone's called Karen, they're like an absolute female dog. But like that isn't the case. Not all the time. I mean, yes, I guess sometimes like women called Karen can be Karens. Like that's normal. You know, stereotypes, you know, certain names linked to certain stereotypes, and sometimes they're true. You know, I've met people who I'm like, I get why your name's that now. But it has been proven your name can genuinely have effect on the person you are. I think that's quite interesting, to be honest. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to, like, in the past half an hour, we've had, like, 8 people on here, and, like, 5 of those people were on it, like, once. In the first, like, 1 minute, in the first 5 minutes of this live, we had about, like, 5 we had, like, between 5 and, like, 7 people on here in like, 5 minutes, and it was like, "Whoa." That doesn't happen, like, ever. So it was a bit weird, but I'm still trying to, like, process that. But yeah, I'm back, as you guys can tell from the fact you're here, and that was what the title was about. There will not be a video on what I did yesterday at the fair because I got nothing. Genuinely got absolutely nothing. I got some really nice photos though of my outfit. I was like genuinely pleased with the way the photos came out. I have the one photo where I look like I'm going to cry, which I will never be showing anyone, but will definitely be showing up on my 18th birthday. I already know my friends are going to bully me with that one, which is why I want to move, which is why I'm planning on moving out of the country. I will not be showing you. Never, ever, ever, ever in a billion years will I be showing you that photo. Because that's mine. Because it is genuinely the worst photo of me on the planet. You have my hair going in every which, like, my hair's going like that, and you have, like, I just look weird as hell in that photo. Like, it is not a photo that I ever want anyone to see, but I know will come up on my 18th birthday. Like, one of my friends, for my birthday this year, we all went out, and I thought she was recording a video. I don't know. They might be on here. I thought they were recording a video, so I went, "Hi," and now she has a video of me like that, and a photo of me like that, and I genuinely look like a deformed Muppet. Like, I look like the Muppet. I look like a Muppet if a Muppet was like... Let me think. I look like a Muppet if a Muppet got dropped on its face and had a broken jaw. Let me ask her for it. I don't know if she still has it. She might. And you look like a warthog. What's the difference? I need to find that number. Where's the number? Oh, I just cracked my neck. Found it! But, yeah, And you look like the Swedish chef if he was dropped on his face and then hit in the face with a frying pan. Is it though? For those of you who don't know, we do joke. It is all jokes with us. We genuinely just take the mick out of each other for, like, no apparent reason. I know them in real life, and it is just as bad then. Because I'm such a nice person. I am genuinely a nice person, I promise. Me and my friends have very strange friendship. What the hell am I saying? I don't even know. I'm just talking gibberish at this point. My brain won't work. I'm genuinely talking waffle at this point. I don't know. I have Ruby syndrome. How are you being held hostage? I'm the only one here right now. And I'm being ignored. That's fun. I don't know what I was gonna say then. I genuinely was gonna say something. My wardrobe door is open, stupid. I'm not gonna show you because my room is a tip. Like, genuinely, my room looks horrendous right now. I need to clean it, but I just haven't had the energy to. I swear to God, I can't right now. I don't know why. My brain and my mouth will not compute. I don't actually know what's going on. I seem to be having some sort of stroke. I am having a stroke, clearly. You are not being held hostage. They'll be able to hear you because my wardrobe door is open and the walls are thin. What is that one piece of hair doing? I look like an old man. And somehow it made it worse. Why does it go like that? I don't have a basement. I don't even have an attic. I don't have a basement. I don't have an attic. My whole house is open. Like, literally. You strange bean. Ah, my ear is ringing. You mean a shed, dude? I don't even have a shed. Oh, we do have a shed, but it's like a very, very tiny shed that is full of barbecue stuff. And our garage is just as bad. I don't actually know what I'm doing. I seem to be having some weird sort of like stroke today, so I don't have a recording room. I use the theater or the drama studio. Plus, the recording rooms are still being like redone. They're still like rebuilding the recording rooms and stuff. So you can't be in there because they're locked. That's locked as well. That has been locked since I went in there on Friday. That was locked before I went in there on Friday. They always lock it. So these theories are stupid and don't work. I need to calm down. I kid you not. I had like I slept for 12 and a half hours straight yesterday. It was locked before I went there. We were in music together and you like disappeared at the end of the lesson. I genuinely did not see you leave. Did I? Oh, I did leave before. I remember now. I forgot I left before you. I did leave before you. I remember now. But I went straight down to the drama studio. You said you're leaving, then you ditched me, and A followed you, and E stayed behind with me. Oh, yeah. That's because we do watermelon sugar on Cubase, wasn't it? That genuinely was horrible. I hate Cubase. So, obviously, I'm a musician, but I cannot do digital music. I am old as hell when it comes to any type of digital music, which genuinely sucks because that kind of makes it a lot harder in the music industry if you don't know how to use digital music. Because I'm like an old person when it comes to technology. I did not see you at all after that. I went straight to the theatre. Actually, no, I wasn't in the drama studio. I was in theatre. I was in theatre. I went to the drama studio, but it was locked. So I went straight to the theatre. I was thinking about lunchtime. Wait, what period did we have music? 5. Was it 5 or was it 4? Yeah, 5, because it was week B. Don't know how you got past the media studies without being caught. Because there's no one in media studies, for one. And 2, I did not kidnap you. Because if I had, I probably would have killed you. But, that is how I roll. I do not kidnap people. Let's just make that clear. I have never kidnapped a human. I have been attempted kidnap, and my friends told me if I ever leave, they're going to kidnap me. Like, they were, because they were coming out as it came downstairs. Oh, wait, no, there's one media studies room, and there was no one in the media studies room. Oh, wait, no, there was, because there was less than that. But the media teacher isn't actually in at the minute, so she's, like, dead. I don't know where she's gone, but she's just kind of, like, disappeared off the face of the planet, and I genuinely don't know how to feel about it. Because that's the one who covered our drama lesson, do you remember? Yeah, then there's computer science in the other room. But if you, like, do you remember when she covered our drama lesson and, like, almost broke someone in our drama lesson? Like, was that last week? Yeah, it was last week, wasn't it? That was a very interesting lesson. When a teacher comes up to you and goes, "My mum's dead," you don't know what to do with yourself. At that point, you just kind of sat there as if saying, "What the do I do?" It's not fun. It's not fun. Oh, I haven't done the homework. I forgot about it. Do you know what? I'm going to do it after work tomorrow. I've got work tomorrow. I'll do it after work. I'll just do it as soon as I finish work. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'll just do it after work. I'll do it once work's done. I just can't be bothered doing it today. Genuinely have not got the energy. But I will do it tomorrow or tonight. I'll probably be up at like midnight doing it. So this was like, I am genuinely doing it. I forgot about it until it was brought up. Because my mate brought it up yesterday on the way to the fair, and she's like, "Have you done the drama homework?" And I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that." And then I forgot about it again until you just brought it up, and I was like, "Ah." But it's genuinely horrible. My Dory brain is terrible. I am genuinely Dory, and it sucks. I am genuinely Dory, and I hate it. I actually hate it. It sucks. I need to turn my phone off because I keep getting distracted. Every time I do this, I always get distracted by my phone. It's terrible. But yeah, we have 1 week left, then break. That's like 6 weeks. Then summer. Okay, yeah. Technically, from next term, we are year 11. So from the start of next term, we class as year 11 because year 11 have this month of exams, and then they're technically done. So, and next term is absolutely. I actually wrote down what I need to get done for next term because I was very organized about it. I have it in my notebook. We've got exams, which is the 3rd week back, the 2nd off back, after half term. I need to finish getting my set done for the fest because I'm doing a live set of music in the evening. No, we've all been told as soon as we come back after that break, our head of year is going to start calling us year 11. She said that when she first became our head of year. She said to them, we class as year 11 as soon as we come back after half term. Yeah, it's the last Tuesday and Wednesday of term. because we have sports day on the Thursday and a half day on the Friday. Yeah, that's all I know. Which I don't know what day is that. It's like the 25th and the 26th of July, I think. Let me get the dates up for the end of term. Let me get. Oh, it's open. That's strange. It's a Saturday. It's open on a Saturday. How strange. I go to Dorset on the 8th of June because geography trip. Oh. Okay. Term 6. Start of term 6, we go back on the 5th of June. So we break up on the 26th. And we go back on the 6th. Oh, wow, that's a long half term. Look at my calendar. That's what? 26th to the 6th. That's a week and a couple days there. We go back on a Tuesday. Oh, why? I hate when they do that. Oh, wait, no, the 5th we go back. Hey, I read it wrong, sorry. And then we finish on the 21st of July. 21st. So the 18th and the 19th of July is when we have the fest. We have officially got a playlist together. I have written down the playlist. It is officially on my phone in a proper playlist, which will be used. And we have 128 songs on it. That's a lot. I know it is early this year. And then we go back to school in September on the 5th of September. So we have literally got. Let me get my calendar back up. July. What day in July do we break up? July 21st. So that is 1 month. 1 week. That is just over. That's like 5 weeks off. That's still like 6 weeks off. As normal, we have still got our 6 weeks, nothing more and nothing less. Which, like, when you look at some, like, in comparison to some places, that's quite good because obviously after like lockdown and stuff, certain schools like genuinely like they cut half terms by like a massive amount. Whereas our school were like, they can afford it. Which was great. You know, when you go into year 9 and you're told, you can keep going, you'll be fine. No, we won't. Genuinely, like, one of the worst things ever. Just Google what the time difference, but I could just do that. Hold on, that's Pinterest, wrong app. What is the time? Oh my god, I can't spell. Is the what the actual hell? The time difference between July 21st and 2023. That's 33. 23 and September 5th. Oh, we've got 48 days. So that is 6.857 weeks. Don't know how you can have point of a week, but you know, it'll do. How can you have point of a week? Oh, wait, because it's not a full week. That makes sense. So that's going to be great. I mean, keeping busy through half term, I think is going to be like the major issue for me because I genuinely have nothing to do in half terms and it sucks. Like, if I go home, I'm totally cool with that, but I can't stay home for all of half term because I have work still. So I'm gonna spend a lot of it here. Which is the one downside about working now, is what I found is like I don't get to go home as much anymore. Yeah, month and a half. Like, the one downside to working like 4 jobs is that I don't get to go home as much anymore because my life literally revolves around work. So I do a lot of babysitting. I do a lot of work like in half terms and stuff. I'll do some extra work for spa. I'll do some extra work for the radio, and I will just always be working, which is as much as draining as it is. As much as, like, I know it gives me that extra bit of money, it does also cause problems for me because when I'm on my feet too long with my knees, it can be really painful. But I don't tell people when it gets painful because I don't want to be a burden. So it is a case of I'm always working in half terms and stuff, and I miss going home in half terms because that was my thing in half terms. But I'd go home and I would be able to take a break, and I'd be able to come back feeling better about everything and be able to just like have that time to myself where I'm not surrounded by people all the time. Maybe it's busy, but it's like I genuinely miss going home more, like going home and having that 6 weeks to be with my like I don't see my grandparents very often. Like, I talk to my nan over the phone every day, but it's not the same. No, how, like, the chippy might be busy. Bye. But it was like, there's a lot of things I miss about going home. Me and my grandparents go to the beach every time. In the summer we go down to Porthcawl, which is like the most lovely beach on the planet. It can sometimes. Since I wasn't able to do it yesterday, I'm going to tell him he's still wrong about Spider-Man. It can if it's busy. And I've just gone and told them that. Because I'm amazing and I won't let it rest because that's the type of person I am. Until he backs down, I will fight. I will not back down first. Says me, give it another week and I'll be like, you know what, you win. Andrew's amazing. Andrew Garfield's amazing. I can't call him Andrew because that's my boss's name, and otherwise it feels very weird, and I don't like it. Jesus Christ, and people tell me they can't tell I'm autistic sometimes. Like, genuinely, some people come up to me and go, "Oh, I understand why you might be autistic." I'm like, "Excuse you," but I see where I genuinely am not surprised people think I'm autistic. With the way I just jabber. I have suffered for currently 23 hours with a sore throat. Oof, that genuinely hurts. Like, I'm very lucky in the fact that I don't get sick very often. Like, I'm very lucky with that fact. But, yeah, I feel bad for you. I'm genuinely so sick of being single. Lucky I get like 5 months of a year with hay fever, not very nice. Oh! Your father is the only man who wants to see you be better than him. Even then, that's not true. Sorry. I had a moment. I don't know what I was gonna say then. Do you know, I'm genuinely done with being single at this point. I am so done being single. I hate it. I genuinely hate being single. I know someone's gonna be like, "Why do you hate being single?" Like, I would, some people would be like, "Oh, but being single is great. You know, you don't have to deal with other people." I may not have to deal with anyone else, but like sometimes I just want to cuddle, man. I just want to hug. I don't want anyone to give me a hug, and it genuinely sucks because I'm too scared to go up to my friends and go, "Can I have a hug?" So if like, you know, I remember when you were so sick, I was on the sofa. There was this one time, I don't, oh, how close, I don't remember how close we were then, but it was like, I was in school, I felt horrendous, like, it was last year, and we were on lunch, and I was freezing, like, my temperature was, like, boiling, I was 30 degrees, and I was, like, sat there, and we were sat on lunch, and I was, like, with the guy I was dating at the time, I had my head on his shoulder, because like I was like falling asleep. I was like genuinely feeling so horrendous, and I fell asleep. I don't sleep in school because it's way too loud. But I was out, like my head was on his shoulder. I was out cold. Apparently, I was boiling hot. You know, I felt genuinely horrendous. I was running to the bathroom for 5 minutes. So I thought I was gonna be sick. And like, eventually, we get to the next lesson. Obviously, I wasn't tired. I slept really well the night before. There had been something going around my house anyway. Both, you know, all my siblings had all managed to get it. Me and my mum had been like the only one, like my stepdad wasn't home at the time, so it was just like me and my mum. We were there with the kids and stuff. My stepdad was away with work, so he was there, and you know, we in the end we got it, and we were sat. Well, you know, I didn't know we had it, so I fall asleep in my lesson because I feel so bad. Like I never fall asleep in lessons. Like I used to in period 6 because like period 6 I was exhausted. I was always drained. And like my sleep schedule was at like its worst at that point. It's still really bad now, but I found my ways of like helping with my sleep. But then I had like no idea on what was going on with my sleep, why it was so bad. Now I've figured out like how to help it. Like I still don't know what it is that causes my sleep so bad, but I can help myself with it now. But anyway, like I get into lesson, I have IT, right? I have my IT lesson, and I'm not gonna lie, I hated IT. Genuinely hated it. I sucked at it. So we were sat there and I was like going through it, and I was like doing the lesson, and I was sat there with Ruby when, you know, I'm sat there, and she knows I feel well. I'm so pale. I am like sweating, but I look horrendous. Like, you know, I feel boiling, but I'm like, apparently, like it was like, do you know when your temperature goes like up and down a lot, like, but you like, so like you got a major fever, but like it goes up and down all the time. Like that's what it was like, and it was like that bad. And it was like to the point where I was sat there, and eventually my head's on the desk. I'm like working. I work my head on the desk, and I fell asleep. I was out until like 10 minutes before the end of the lesson. I woke up because like there was some loud noise and it woke me up. So I sit up and I'm like, oh my god, nothing's been done. Luckily the teacher was like, right, I'm coming around now. So before she goes round, I'm like, I go up and I'm like, miss, I won't lie to you, I haven't done anything. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, I feel horrendous. I fell asleep because I feel that bad today. I am genuinely so sorry. I was constantly apologizing. She was like, listen, I know you wouldn't fall asleep in lessons. You look horrendous. She was like, go to the water fountain and get yourself something to drink. Go to the toilet if you need to. I was like, all right. I ran to the bathroom and everything. I pick up my phone and I call my mum and I'm like, Mum, I genuinely don't know what is going on. She was like, are you sick as well? I was like, I think so, yeah. Turns out my mum had it as well. My boyfriend at the time walks me home. Normally we used to like sit and we would talk for like 5-10 minutes after school. But like he walked me home, and obviously we tried to have like a conversation, but I looked at him and went, I need to go in, I need to go to bed. He was like, right, let me know if you're coming in tomorrow, because like we had this group chat, because me, him and his sister used to walk to school with each other every morning. So we had this group chat, and he was like, right, just send me a message in the morning, let me know if you're coming in. So I go home and I close my door. I get into my room and I close my door, and I'm sat there, and I just like crawl into it. I don't move. Like my phone is still on next to me. I genuinely, I don't move. I hadn't gone and said anything to my mum. I think my mum was in bed as well, feeling really poorly. My siblings were outside playing because it was still, it's like November time, and like no matter rain or shine, these kids go out and play. So we were like, my mum was in bed, or my mum was asleep on the sofa, one or the other. I can't remember which. Because I wasn't really paying attention, and I get upstairs and I crawl into bed and I lay in bed for about 2 days. I don't eat for 2 days straight. I genuinely didn't move for 2 days. Like I think I fell asleep at like 3 and was up. I didn't wake up till about 10:30 that night. I just slept for 7 hours straight because I felt absolutely horrendous. And then the only time other than that I've been like really bad in the past 2 years has been when I had COVID. So I've had COVID 3 times. The first time it knocked me on my ass. It really did. The first time I couldn't sit up properly for about 2 days because my head would spin, and the first time I did it, I almost passed out. So I genuinely could not sit up for like 2 days. But other than that, I don't really get sick. I love the fact I've gone from like I hate being single. And say like it generally. So I've been very lucky in the fact I haven't been sick at like Christmas time or like holidays or anything. I had COVID over my brother's birthday, which really sucked. Because like me and my sister had it, so we had to like do like a social distance happy birthday thing with my brother, and I genuinely felt really bad about it because like it's genuinely sucked. Me and my sister had it at the same time, and then both my brothers had it. And I remember my mum has had COVID once, or we think she might have had it twice right at the start. Same with my sister. Now, me and my mum, well, my stepdad was still away with work when my mum had it properly. When you had to do the mandatory tests and everything, my stepdad was away, and we were still in school. Luckily, we didn't find out about it until a Friday, which meant we had like the whole weekend where I'd be able to help take care of my mum. And we were sat there, and I wake up one morning. My siblings come wake me up, and they're like, "Mum has COVID," and I'm like, "What do you mean, Mum's got COVID?" They were like, "Mum has COVID." Obviously, I've just woken up, so I'm like, "Okay, very funny." Like, no, seriously, Mum has COVID. Go and ask her. So I go downstairs. My mum sat there, and she's like that because she hasn't got a mask on yet. So she's like that in her bedroom because her door's open. So she's like, I go in. She's like, "No, don't come in, don't come in." I'm like, "Okay." So I stand at the door. I'm like, "You got COVID?" She was like, "Yeah, I've got COVID." She's like, "Right, okay." I'll message my neighbour, see if she can take the kids to school, and then I'll go myself. She's like, "Okay, you do that." So I call my neighbour. I'm like, "Hey, would you be able to take the kids to school? Mum's got COVID. She genuinely can't." Mum had already called in sick for work because of it. Luckily, I think she still got paid. You still get paid in that COVID leave and stuff. So we called my neighbour up and was like, "Hey, can you take the kids to school? Mum genuinely cannot leave the house for the next 2 weeks." So they're like, yeah, sure, of course we can. Whatever you guys need for the next week or so, just let us know and we can get it all done. We were like, yeah, thank you so much. So we get, I get in school, or I leave the house afterwards. I've put on a brave face for the kids because like I was genuinely on the verge of tears, because I knew, I was under a lot of stress at the time anyway, and with my mum being sick, it was like, just really overwhelming me. So I was sat there and I was like, okay, and I knew my granddad would be up because by the time I leave for school, my granddad's got to get up to take his tablets. So like, right, I need to call Grampy. I need to let Grampy know. So I called my Grampy and I'm like, "Grampy, I got COVID on the 10th of March, 3 days before lockdown, then got it on my birthday." Oof! That's one hell of a birthday present. But, I call my Grampy and I'm like, "Gramps," I'm in tears at this point, and I'm like, "Grampy, Mum has COVID." And he's like, "What do you mean your mum's got COVID? Your mum's got COVID?" I was like, "Mum has COVID. Like, she can't leave her room." And hold on, sorry. He's like, "Right, I'll talk to your nan. We'll try and get down. We'll try and get some help. We'll try and like help you guys out as much as you can." Because like, obviously, I was in tears. Like, I wasn't really in a fit state to be helping Mum at that point because it hadn't like sunk in. Obviously, I was panicking because it was only me and my mum at the house. So I was like, okay. I told my mum, I was like, "Do you need me to stay home? Do you need me, like, I can stay off school for a bit if you need the help?" She was like, "No, still go in." And I got in and I went over to my student manager because she could tell I'd been crying. She was upset. She was like, "Well, what's going on?" I was like, "My mum has COVID. Like, genuinely don't know what to do at this point, because when my mum's sick, it really knocks her. So she was like, right, you can keep your phone out, you can message her if you need to. I was like, thank you so much. So I keep my phone out in lessons and stuff all day, and she's like, right, if you need to message me out, like, I got into my first lesson, I messaged her, I'm going, hey, you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm feeling fine. And once every hour I've messaged my mum going, are you okay? Do you need me to bring anything home? Do you need me to sort anything out when I get in? Do you need anything? And it got to the point my mum was like, just stop it, I'm fine. I was like, I am sorry that I am worried about you. She was like, no, it's not the fact you're worried about me. Bye. She was like, no, it's not the fact you're worried about me. It's the fact that, like, it's constant. Because, like, when I panic, I really panic. Like, I'm so bad when it comes to panicking. So I was, like, sat there and I was messaging my mum and I was like, are you okay? Do you need me to grab anything on my way home? Do you need me to do anything as soon as I get in? Like, what needs to happen now? She was like, it's fine, it's absolutely fine. I was like, okay. So in the end, I leave it. And as I'm walking home, I get home. And that weekend was the weekend my uncle had promised to have my siblings. So my mum was like, listen, can you still take the kids? And he was like, yeah, of course. So by the time I get home, because I stayed behind for now, mum was like, don't change your plans because of me. Stay in school. Do whatever you need to do. Because obviously, like I said before, I do piano practice every day. I think I have like 25 hours of piano practice every week normally. Or I used to have like 25 hours per week now. So I stay 2 hours after school. I had 4.5 hours of practice every day. Times that by 5. 4.5 times 5. I do 22.5 hours per week of piano practice every week. I used to. Now I only do... I've lost it. I do... Stay an hour after school. There's an hour there. I do 20 hours a week of piano practice. I've reduced my hours a bit because it was really stressing me out. So I stay behind and I do my 2 hours and I get home and my siblings are already gone. And mum's like, oh, did you tell Nan and Grampy? I was like, yeah, I called Grampy earlier. I wasn't sure what to do. And I was really stressed about it. I was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't want to tell Grampy, but like, I knew I had to. And she was like, no, it's fine, but because my grandparents was off to come up and help. But with my granddad's conditions and stuff, same with my nan has asthma. So it was like, we'd rather you didn't. And I'm not going to lie, me and my mum had loads of fun that weekend. Even though she had COVID, my uncle had taken the kids and I stayed home because my uncle only had room for 3 and he had promised them a while ago that they could go and stay with him. I'd already stayed there before. I'd stayed there during the first lockdown, so they were like, yeah, you can stay with... So my uncle took them to like Harry Potter Studios and stuff for their weekend, and like they went and did like a bunch of stuff together. And on the Saturday, I wake up on the Saturday and I spend all day Saturday cleaning the house. Me and my mum like message back and forth. We're literally just messaging all day long, back and forth. And like as much as random as it is, like, your mum's in the other room, but you're still sat and you're messaging her because you can't really go in and see her. And I knew my mum was getting lonely, so I go in. I go in Friday. I'm like, I walk in and I'm like, I put my mask on and I go in, and my mum taking the photos of it. I was sat in her doorway on a pillow, like the new. Do you guys remember when Encanto came out? When Encanto came out, it was the same weekend, or it was like a weekend after it came out. My siblings already watched it, and we were sat there. Me and my mum hadn't seen it yet, and I didn't particularly want to watch it, but I did because I knew if I didn't, my mum would my mum kind of needed someone to keep her company. So I was like, it's just an excuse to keep her company for a bit. So I do. I go and I keep her company. So I sit there. And I'm sat on this cushion in my mum's door with the door wide open. She's sat on one end of the bed. I've got a mask on. And in the end, the floor gets so uncomfortable. I genuinely get up and she's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to sit on the bed. She was like, no, don't do that. I was like, Mum, I don't care if I get it. I've had it 3 times. Like, so I'm sat on one. I'm sat there on the floor and we're watching it. I hadn't realized, but my mum had picked up her phone and had taken a photo of me on the floor, and I haven't got screenshots of it anymore, but she had taken photos of the two of us sat there, me on her bedroom floor, so we were keeping 6 feet away, and we were just like sat there and we were talking, we were laughing through the film, and we watched the film, and I think I spent another 2 hours sat in her doorway just talking. And that night she ordered us pizza, and I had just started watching. Our thing when my stepdad was away was we would watch Made in Chelsea every night, and we would watch Supernatural every night. So we were sat there on the Saturday. We were just sat there watching Supernatural. She had it on her TV. I had it on the TV in the living room, and she was like, "Where are you at?" It's like, I just got a message occasionally going, "What episode are you on?" I'm like, "Season 3, episode 6." She's like, "You're so far behind." I was like, "And you're too far ahead." You just go back and forth. We'd message about the episodes and stuff, and like we would send like genuinely, me and my mum, like I've been going through our messages at the minute. I send my mum so many photos. I sent her this one in January. I think it was in January. Let me find it. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. I didn't send it. Oh, she didn't reply to it. But like I sent her like all these jokes and stuff all the time. Like I would genuinely just do this just to annoy her. So do you guys remember in like if you guys have seen the Endgame when Doctor Strange did this? I saw this thing. What Doctor Strange was trying to say: fly up, Thanos can't fly. Give me 1 minute, I'll help you after I deal with the flood. Take out one of the stones so Thanos can't do the snap. Bring the glove up to Captain Marvel, she can handle the snap. Tony, okay, I am a snap. Doctor Strange. That's the type of thing me and my mum sent. And then mum sent me like I have a thing about Marvel Funko Pops. And it was like, you know, my mum would send me all these photos and she was like, "This is £170, you're not getting this for Christmas." So that's fine. And like we send each other random stuff. My mum is like absolutely crazy. I love her to death, but she's crazy. So I sent her this thing. People need to start appreciating the effort I put into not being a serial killer. And then I saw this thing and it confused the hell out of me. So I took a screenshot and sent to my mum. The Winnie the Pooh is a girl. Winnie was called a he in the books, but she was named after a female bear. My mum was like, "Shut up, is it?" But it was like we just said, oh, and this was when I think that was when she had. But no, I don't know if it was. That was in February. Let me find that. I don't know why I sent that to her. I think like I'll just randomly send my mum something really nice. She's like, "What have you done?" I'm like, "Nothing. Can I not just send my mum something nice?" She's like, "No." That was just after I found out I didn't have COVID anymore. There was like no reason. I think I just saw it. Like I think my mum was going through something really difficult at the time, so I was like, I sent her this thing. "I love you, ma'am. I love you as a ma'am, the wonderful woman who's done more for me than any other person in the world. I love you as my friend, someone who understands me, takes time to listen, and truly cares about how I'm doing." And then I sent her the video of the thing I did last week when it hit 1K. When was that? She didn't really answer me then. And then, so for anyone who's seen Supernatural, you will know the car is a 1967 Chevrolet Impala. Now, it is my dream car, but it is like it's like $100,000 for the car. Let me Google how much it is. How much? That is not how you spell much. Is a 1967 Chevy Impala. So it usually costs around £40,000 for that car. But it is like genuinely my dream car. If I ever make enough, I want to buy that car. Like we just send each other jokes and stuff back and forth all the time. And then we had like a debate on the fact that it was her birthday. I was meant to be hanging out with a friend. She had gone, "Hey, have you left yet?" "No, I'm not going." "Okay, how come?" "I'm not going until next week and it's your birthday." She was like, "We're not leaving until like 7 for the meal." I was like, "I'm not going anywhere on your birthday." And then my mum sent me this thing about like Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man. I was like, oh my god, you just made my day. And then that's like it. Like me and my mum have had way more weird conversations, but that's like some of the most random ones. We don't really have many random conversations. As much as I love my mum, the randomness of our conversations is at like a 0 at this point. Just because we have like we don't have random conversations anymore. I have like a whole thing on Pinterest about her though, and like I have like this whole thing, and the thing is, yep, that's my ma. And it's great because like I love like talking about my mom because my mom is like my best friend. She's always been my best friend. She always will be my best friend. She has been since she always has been. Hi. How are you? Hi. Hi, how are you? I am the singer, yeah, I am. That's me. You were on one of my videos the other day, my Lewis Capaldi cover. I am great. I am really, really busy, but I'm good. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you were on my. Yeah. Okay. You were on my live of before. You were on my video before you go by Lewis Capaldi, I think. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. I'll be. Thank you. I'll be back in all 2 minutes. Please don't go anywhere. I'm back. Hello. Hi. Thank you for. Sorry, I've run up 3 flights of stairs. I'm like dying. I just ran up 3 flights of stairs. I run up those stairs every day and it never gets easier. Like, ever. It's horrible. Jesus Christ. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. I try and post singing content every day. I try and post singing content as much as I can, but I'm doing a lot with school at the minute. I have exams coming up in like 3 weeks, as well as a bunch of other stuff going on. So I will try and post as much as I can, and I hope you enjoy it. And obviously, I will keep you all updated on my Britain's Got Talent situation. Fingers crossed that goes well. Oh my god. I am like, not. I'm on YouTube growing channel. Educator. I'm a YouTube growth channel. Ooh. I will definitely check you out. Oh god, sorry. Wrong one. Go to channel. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Well, I'm subscribed to you as well. Of course. We help each other, that's how it works. Oh my god, we help each other. That is how I roll. People who subscribe to me, I always make sure to subscribe back, because then you'll pop up on people who I watch or people who watch me. So hopefully that helps your channel grow. I'm really out of breath. I'm really sorry. Well, good luck on your tests. I'm sure you'll do really well. Very nervous for mine. These are like my big tests to like determine what big tests I sit in next year. Wait, where are you from? Like, genuinely curious, because from the video I've just seen you sound American, but I don't know if, like, I might be wrong. Yeah, we've got, like, some massive... You're from England as well? Oh, nice! Sorry, that was my fault. Are you year 11? Oh, wait, what year group are you in? Sorry. Yeah, what year group are you in? 9. Oh, wait. Oh, you guys... Yeah, I know what test you guys do. Yeah. I did those last year. I sit my mocks next term. So, because you know how you do like your summer exams in year 11, and then you have your mocks in year 10, more mocks in year 11, then your GCSEs in year 11. I've got my mocks next term. Yay! Good luck on yours as well. I'm sure you will do amazing. Because I always found like the majority of the year 9 ones were quite easy, and then you get to year 10 and it's like, whoa. Like that's what I've always found. So just be prepared for that. That is my only advice: is be prepared for year 10. So am I. I'm not even English, and it makes it harder. I'm not English, so I genuinely get where you come from. I am, yeah. I'm year 10. I'm actually Welsh. English is a language that I mostly had to pick up when I came here. Like from a mix of that and like I've been reading since I was a kid, so I was reading Harry Potter at the age of like 3, so like I kind of grew up with books. So my English is good because of books. Like I write my own books and stuff. English is the only subject that I can do properly. I suck at every subject apart from English, music, and drama. What do you want to do? What is it that like? Do you know how you do like the options in like year 10? Or that's what we did anyway. Do you guys pick your option like your GCSE options in year 9 or year 10? So I know each school does it a bit differently. This is just genuine curiosity, I swear. I love like hearing about new places. Drama is also... I've always loved drama. I want to be an actor, so it's kind of like drama is probably one of my favorites. Which is going to like I take drama as one of my subjects. I take drama, music, and media studies and history. We picked them in year 9. I picked history, geography, and drama. Oh, did you guys only pick 3? We got to pick 4. I've got history, drama, music, and media studies. Oh, I mean, it's less GCSEs then, really. Like, you use less exams you got to do. Lucky you. In total, I think we have around 20 GCSEs we need to sit, because there's like 6 for science, 4 for maths, another 4 for English, and then you got like 3. There is so many that we need to do. It's genuinely mind-bending sometimes. I hate it. Like the amount of GCSEs, but then you go to like college and stuff, and everything's different. Like from people I know, and like my parents and stuff who went to college and uni, have all told me like it is completely different. Like it is such a different thing compared to what you learn in school. Oh, it's my phone making the noise. I wasn't sure if it was this or my phone. Genuinely could not tell. So, I've like me and my parents been having this debate for like ages if I should go to college or if I should do sixth form. I want to do college, but my parents want me to do sixth form. Apparently, sixth form has more structure, but it is basically just going to college. It is the exact same thing. Like, the only reason my friend had to go in every day because she was behind and she had to, like, retake certain subjects. So as long as you get above a grade 4, you're all good. See, I might do college. Like, I want to do an international college because, like, I've always wanted to travel, and I know, like, college is my chance. I have an appointment with my careers advisor on Monday about that, and I am, like, petrified because talking to people is not my strong suit. Like, in person, like this, I can talk to anyone over this because I'm, like, used to this. I've never spoken to this woman in my life, and I am very, very scared. I do get out of my English lesson, though, so I take that as a win. Yeah, I mostly get grades 5 and 6 in normal subjects. Drama's like an 8 and 9, English 7, 8. That's really good. So, I never found out my grades because I was... The day they gave out all the grades, I wasn't in lessons because I had, like, a mental breakdown and, like, just kind of, like, stopped working. I almost broke my hand that day, so I was, like, I had to be... Like, I was with teachers and stuff instead, trying to, like, help me through it. So I missed all of that and never found out any of my grades. And none of my teachers have told me any of my grades. So I'm going in blind. Oh, I'm good now. This was in, like, January. I'm absolutely fine now. I am over it. I am better. And I haven't punched any walls since. I managed to pop every knuckle bone out of place. And it really hurt, but I am all good now. I just had bruising after that, but yeah, I'm all good now. There was, like, a lot of issues at the time, which is why I no longer date people. Yeah, it was the typical ex-boyfriend situations. Yes, thank you. I am absolutely fine now. I am recovered from a lot of my mental issues. I still struggle a little bit here and there, but that is normal when you have anxiety and being tested for depression. But because this channel isn't just music, this channel is also to do with mental health. I focus a lot on mental health as someone who's struggled with it. So I do a lot around both. And people, like, obviously that can be a big thing for people because a lot of people have so many opinions on mental health. I did a whole live on mental health a while ago. I think I had to take it down in the end though because it got copyrighted, which really sucks. But yeah, this channel is like a big thing on like mental health as well because I've had like this doing YouTube and like doing music has really helped me through like the dark times in my mental health because like I don't know. Is that a buffet? Oh my god, it's so loud. But yeah, like doing music has really helped me through mental health. So a lot of people, you don't see many music and mental health channels these days. I'm glad to see you doing that. Thanks. I mean, I absolutely love it. Like I was very fortunate. A couple of months ago, I had someone on my live, and she lost someone very close to her, and she came on here and was like, "Your lives and your mental health advice has really helped me," and it genuinely made me cry. Because all I want to do, I want to help people. So I work 4 jobs, right? I do 4 jobs. I work for 4 different things. I do YouTube, I'm a babysitter, I work at a shop, and I also work at a radio station. Now, I do radio, and I was very lucky. I did a live on it on Thursday, but I had to take it down because they threatened to fine me for it, for copyright. Where I did an interview with a musician. He's a very, very talented musician. I've worked with him 3 times in the past. His name is Lassie Top Music. Like, I would definitely recommend having a look at him. He's a very, very talented musician. Literally every single time. Every single time I do anything to do with lives, I always get copyrighted every single time, and it bugs me beyond compare. You totally should. He's absolutely incredible. He's so amazing at what he does. He is. We've been very good friends for the past 2-3 months now. Yeah, you already know who I am. He is very, very talented. I will put his thing in the description. Oh, if it will work. Oh, if I can spell. Yeah. I can't spell to save my life. You can probably tell I'm not English. I've worked with him 3 times on 3 different songs. We did a cover of Lovely, a cover of Hopelessly Devoted to You, and a cover of Stay by Rihanna. And it was absolutely amazing working with him. He is hilarious. He does a lot of stuff based around just like funny content as well. So he is an absolute blast to be around. He's an idiot, to put it at the least, and I know he'll see this. We have been having an ongoing debate over the past 2 weeks, so if you do say anything to him, just tell him Andrew Garfield's better than Tom Holland as Spider-Man, just because it annoys him. He is so interesting. He's so funny. He's an absolute idiot, to say the least. But yeah, if you see his channel, just put in the comment, just be like, Andrew Garfield is better than Tom Holland. Even if you don't believe it, just do it, because his reaction is priceless. He genuinely hates it. And I say this has been an ongoing debate for the two of us for the past 2 weeks of which is the better Spider-Man. I'm saying Andrew Garfield. He says Tom Holland. Turns out we're both wrong, but he refuses to admit it. Surprisingly, the better Spider-Man is actually Tobey Maguire, which I was not expecting. If you can't tell, I'm a bit of a Marvel geek. I love Marvel. Marvel's always been a big thing to me. My cousin got me into Marvel when I was when was it? Just before COVID, I think my cousin got me into. It was just before COVID that she was like, "Watch this!" Oh my god, did you actually? Which video did you do it in? Because I need to find this. Please tell me what video it's in. Don't tell him that I told you to do it though. The ultimate YouTube. You. I am that weird in real life as well, which is the worst thing. We are that strange in real life. The one that me and him did together. Ultimate YouTube live stream fails. Yeah, that's me and him. Newest. Andrew Garfield's better than Tom Holland. Oh my god. He's gonna kill me. I am genuinely screwed. It's gonna be hilarious though. It is so worth it. Every single time I do this to him, every day I will comment on one video being like, Andrew Garfield's still better than Tom Holland, and he'll be like, what the hell? Thank you for doing that. He's gonna hate me. I'm so gonna die. So worth it though. Any excuse. I love annoying people. That is like my one thing. I love it as much. I'm a big people pleaser. Until you get to know me, until we become friends. Because when I'm friends with people, I will annoy the hell out of you for as long as I can. Because it's worth it. And it's just hilarious. Because I don't purposely be annoying half the time. Like when I'm friends with people, like if I'm being tested for autism, okay, I'm being tested for autism, and when I become friends with someone, you can tell that I might be autistic. Like, let me message one of my friends and check this out. I'm gonna message my mate and ask her. I've got to wait for her to reply to that message though. You can genuinely tell sometimes. Oh, thank you. That is because this is me when I am calm-ish. Like, unless I am properly hyped up, like if, like when people see me in real life, they're like, you're a bit strange. And it is genuinely that when I'm like, well, I might be autistic, they're like, that makes sense. Yeah, but you can't tell until until like I've met someone in real life, you genuinely do not know I'm autistic until like I might be autistic up until that point. Because that is when people are like, I see where they're coming from now. But it's a hilarious thing to do to people because especially when like someone's just met me, like people have come up to me being like, or some friends of mine have come up to me being like, they think you're really weird. I was like, I've gone, you told them I might be autistic yet? And they're like, nope. And we just wait and see how long it takes. And there are some people who come up to me and they're like, you might be autistic. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, oh. And it genuinely, like, sometimes it freaks people out, especially when, like, someone brings it up in conversation, I don't know someone, they look at me as if to say, you're not autistic, you don't look autistic. I hate that comment so much when people are like, you don't look autistic. I don't know you in real life, but I don't care if you're autistic or not. Everyone is alright. Have you? Thank you. Like that can drive people, like it does genuinely drive people away sometimes, where it's like I'd be like, yeah, I might be autistic, that explains it. And they're like, maybe not. And like, I won't hear from them again. And it's like that hurts. And I'm very grateful for the people who have stuck around with me because, when I'm like, I told one of my friends that I might be autistic and she looked at me and went, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, you're not going to leave. She's like, no, why would I leave? I'm like, it was that relief. It is weird. Like, it's weird because, like, when you never, hi. I've just asked my mate if she thinks I'm. Oh, how rude. So I'm waiting for her to reply. But, it's a weird feeling when someone comes up to you and they're like, you definitely might be autistic. And it's like, ow. But like it was weird when someone like when a teacher brought it up to me and was like, because I went like one teacher who I really trust. No, because you're quiet and just sat there with. Now we're friends, and that's over with him. Can you tell I might be autistic? It's weird though, because like it's a strange thing with me because I've never felt like I fit. When I moved here, I knew I didn't fit in. I always felt a bit different, and it was weird because it was towards the end of last school year when a teacher came up to me and she was like, "Are you okay?" This was one teacher I'd always been really close with, and she was like, "Well, what's going on?" I was like, "I can't concentrate. My head is always all over the place." I was like, and I was giving off all these symptoms of autism and ADHD, and she was like, we need to get you screened for these things because that might be it. I went home, I did some research, and I was like, oh my God, I've always shown signs. I went to my mum and was like, do you think I'm autistic? She went, yeah, you've always shown signs of autism. You've always, even like the smallest little things can like really get me. Loud noises. They say like loud noises can really have effect on someone's autism. So with mine, I hate fireworks. I love the colors, but I hate the sound. Whenever I go and see fireworks, I have to put my headphones in on full volume. I can't make eye contact with people. Like I can do it with the screen now. Like even like mentioning it has made me look around a bit. That's why when I'm on, like, I always look at my phone because I genuinely can't do it. But it was a strange feeling, like kind of understanding why I might be different if I am. It's not. We tried to get it done through my school. We haven't heard anything back from them yet. I'm going back to my doctors to be put on medication again anyway for something completely different. So we're hoping when I go back there, I can be like, hey, can I get screened for these? We think I have it. But it would explain a lot about me, and if it is that case, I know especially with the career I want to go into as well, it can genuinely take effect. It can take an effect, and obviously there are so many stereotypes towards mental health issues, and things like that. So with depression, for example, people think you're depressed, like you just like you look sad all the time, but that's not the case. Like, people mask depression with like jokes and humor and being like clown and all the rest of it, and you can never really tell. And then anxiety, you think, when people think of panic attack, they think of like heavy breathing, like crying, shaking. That's not always the case. And then you have people with autism and ADHD who you think are always bouncing off the walls or being an absolute idiot, but that's not always the case either. There are different ways people show signs of ADHD and autism. The signs have become kind of more clear in me as I've gotten older, with the way I can handle things. My loud noises and stuff and the way I acted as a kid kind of like proved my parents' point. But now the fact that I cannot handle certain amount, like anything over like that much stress, genuinely like riles me up to the point. That's when you can tell there might be something there mentally. And it's a strange thing, because I know people who have autism, I know people who have ADHD, I know people who have both, I know people who struggle with all types of mental illnesses, and they beat that stereotype of you need to look a certain way, you need to act a certain way. And I'm outside of that stereotype. Just because I look different, people are like, no, you're not like that because you don't look it. I may not look a certain way, but that does not make me something. And I think that is definitely what annoys me a lot. Like, I posted a thing on it a couple of months ago, and I've gone back to this like twice before in different lives about this, because it is something that is really important to me. It was, if I can find it, I post so much in my community. Can I just say, okay, I found it. I found it. Can I just say one thing I hate about the modern world is mental health stereotypes. I've been told I might be autistic, but I don't look like an autistic person should. And just because we don't look a certain way doesn't mean we aren't something. And it goes through the other way around too. In summary, be nice to people and don't make judgments off appearances. Get to know someone first. And it's true, because I may not look autistic or not look ADHD, but that doesn't make me potentially not. Exactly. When they say don't judge a book by its cover, that's what they mean. That is genuinely what it means. Looks don't define anyone, as you've just said. Like, and it is a case of, modern world stereotypes suck. Like, stereotypes in general suck, but, the world's changing and everything's different and everything gets more different by the day. And that's scary to like anyone. That's scary to everyone, because, no matter how you look or how you act, you're going to be, hi, Maddie. I have a real life channel. Yes, that might be more. Yeah, sure. If you want to link that, I can definitely have. I will definitely have a look at both. I will have a look at both. Damn, you got a lot of subscribers. 1.18k, yeah? That you? Damn. They just like mental health stereotypes, man. It's something like crazy. It's like teenage. I hate. You should. You totally should. You should post on both, man. You can get good off that. I will definitely have a look. Yeah, it's like mental health like any type of. I hate teenage stereotypes as well. Teenage stereotype, where it's like all teenagers vape, all teenagers do drugs. No, we don't. All teenagers lose their VCAP by the time they're like 14. Dude, like genuinely, it sucks. because like teenagers get stereotyped in a certain way, and something happened like a couple of weeks ago that like clearly like this woman was very surprised by it. So I went to the shop, and as I was walking back onto my estate, and there was this older woman. She must have been in her 70s, maybe even early 80s. She was driving past me, and she slowed down, and she smiled, and she waved at me, and obviously I smiled and I waved back. And the fact I did that, she was so shocked that a teenager responded in a positive way that she stopped the car and just smiled at me for about 2 minutes before driving away again. And I loved that. That response was probably the best response I've ever had to smiling at someone. And it made my day. And it clearly did her as well. Her smile was massive after that. And it was absolutely amazing to see how one small gesture from a 14-year-old at the time could really have an effect. And I love that. How I just smiled. Common courtesy, and it made her day. And I think that's the thing. That's so a smile changes everything. It really does. And that's what I absolutely love is, you can do anything. The smallest little thing. You could say hi to someone on the street when they say it back to you, or just smile back and nod. And it can genuinely change someone's day. Even like I saw there was this woman outside of the shop when I went the same day, and she was sat there, and it was just before Easter, or it was just after Easter. And I had 2 chocolate bars. So I got one for me and one for my mum. And I put one in her I put my one in her basket and was like, have a good Easter. And I took the other one home. And I'm pretend like I know what that says, because I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that says. Oh, my knee. Ow. It was a special moment to see. Just had a moment. I don't blame you, to be honest. It was a special moment to see. Okay. And I love the fact that you can do something so small, and it can genuinely just change someone's whole day. And it's just something incredible, really, how whenever I go to the shop, like it's always when I go back to Cardiff, whenever like if I go to the shop or anything and there's someone outside and like they need cash. There was this one time I was with my dad and his girlfriend. Small things are actually the biggest. It is, yeah. And me, my dad and his girlfriend, we were going shopping, and we walked past, and this guy was like, "Have you got any money? I want to get something to eat and stuff like that." And we went in and we bought him. We were like, there was a Greg's like 2 doors down, so we went in. We got him a sausage roll, and he was like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." I was like, "I would give you some cash to find you somewhere to stay for the night if I could, but I haven't got anything." He was like, "No, you've done me the biggest thing you could. Thank you so much." Like, we got him a drink and something to eat, and he almost cried. And it was genuinely so incredible to see how one little act of kindness and how one little thing, like just giving someone something to eat, can really affect someone. And it is genuinely one of the best things to see when you make someone smile, or you make someone just that little bit happy. And it can really, it just proves how there is still hope left for humanity. But I think I'm going to leave the live here for today, because my knees are killing and I need to sort something to eat. But thank you guys for joining me. I've had an absolute blast today, and I'll be back 6 o'clock tomorrow, as always. Bye. Bye.